Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're breaking down one of the biggest historical epics ever made, Troy, released in 2004, directed by Wolfgang Peterson and starring Brad Pitt, Eric Bana, and Orlando Bloom. This movie is loosely based on Homer's ancient Greek poem, the Iliad, and it tells the story of the legendary Trojan War, a conflict so massive it supposedly involved 1,000 ships and lasted 10 years. But this film compresses it into just a few weeks. Let's dive into what actually happens. The story kicks off in ancient Greece, where the mainland is divided into rival kingdoms, loosely united under King Agamemnon of Mycenae, a ruthless, power-hungry ruler who wants to conquer everyone around him. Meanwhile, in the powerful city of Troy, located across the sea in modern-day Turkey, King Priam rules peacefully with his sons, the disciplined warrior Hector, and the younger, more romantic Paris. During a diplomatic visit to Sparta, Paris falls in love with Helen, the wife of Spartan king Menelaus. The two secretly run away together back to Troy. This single act, a prince stealing another king's wife, becomes the spark that ignites the entire war. Menelaus is furious and turns to his brother Agamemnon, who honestly doesn't care about Helen at all. He just sees this as the perfect excuse to finally invade and conquer Troy, which he's wanted to do for years. Agamemnon assembles a massive Greek army, but there's one problem. He needs his best warrior on his side. That warrior is Achilles, played by Brad Pitt, widely considered the greatest fighter alive, nearly unbeatable in single combat. Achilles doesn't actually respect Agamemnon. He fights not for kings or countries, but for one thing: eternal glory. He wants to be remembered forever, even if it means dying young. This is the emotional core of his character throughout the film. Reluctantly, Achilles joins the invasion, bringing his elite soldiers, the Myrmidons, and the massive Greek fleet sails for Troy. Once the Greeks land, the war becomes a brutal back and forth. The Trojans, led by the noble and disciplined Hector, defend their city fiercely. Hector is essentially the opposite of Achilles. He doesn't fight for personal glory. He fights out of duty to protect his family and his people. Achilles, being the unstoppable force he is, wreaks havoc on the battlefield, but tension builds inside the Greek camp too. Agamemnon disrespects Achilles by taking a woman he'd claimed after a battle, which insults Achilles deeply. So Achilles pulls his soldiers out of the fighting entirely, refusing to help the Greek cause any further. Without Achilles, the Greeks start losing badly. Here's where the movie hits its emotional peak. Achilles' young cousin, Patroclus, secretly wears Achilles' armor and leads the Myrmidons into battle to boost Greek morale, pretending to be Achilles himself. Hector, believing he's fighting the real Achilles, kills him in combat, only realizing afterward it was Patroclus. When Achilles learns his cousin is dead, he's consumed by rage and grief. He storms onto the battlefield alone and challenges Hector to single combat, one of the most iconic duels in movie history. After an intense fight, Achilles kills Hector, then drags his body behind his chariot back to the Greek camp, refusing to return it for burial. King Priam, in an incredibly moving scene, sneaks into the Greek camp at night and personally begs Achilles to return his son's body. Moved by the old king's grief, Achilles agrees. With Hector gone, Troy's defenses are crippled. The Greeks devise their famous trick. They build a giant wooden horse, pretend to sail away in defeat, and leave the horse behind as a gift. The Trojans, celebrating what they believe is victory, drag the horse inside their walls. That night, Greek soldiers hidden inside the horse sneak out and open the city gates. The Greek army floods in and Troy is destroyed in one brutal night of fire and chaos. During the final battle, Paris kills Achilles by shooting him with arrows, including one to his heel, referencing the legendary Achilles' heel, his one vulnerable spot. So, what's the movie really about underneath all the battles? At its heart, Troy is about legacy, glory, and the cost of pride. Achilles wants to be remembered forever. Hector fights for love and duty. Agamemnon wants power. And Paris's selfish decision ends up destroying an entire civilization. It's a story about how Per, a